Hello, vinyl community. Curtis Young here with Young LP Lovers. Thanks for stopping by and chatting music. Today we are doing the official 2025 vinyl tag. Yeah, I'm really excited. This year it was put out by Pretty Green Vinyl, new channel to me, so that's pretty cool. Already discovering new channels. My first video was a vinyl tag about, I think it's 3 years ago. And I kind of put it out just as a, I don't know, just something to do, right? And yeah, since it's been great. I've been really enjoying my time meeting people online and so forth. So it's been really cool. So if you're thinking about making one of these videos, I encourage you. If I can do it, anyone can do it, right? All right. 20 questions? Yes, 20 questions. So we're going to jump right in because I blabber on. All right, number one, best purchase of 2024. New or old? Okay, so trying to go all CD, or sorry, all vinyl here, right? For the vinyl tag. And this fits in because while it's a 4 CD box set, there's also a 7-inch here at the back. And so what is this? This is It's a Good Feeling, the Latin Soul of Fania Records, the singles. So Fania Records was a record label in New York City focusing on the Latin community, Latin soul. This covers the period from about 60, I want to say 67, up till about 1970, when they were really pumping out the soul. After that, it became more salsa orientated. You get a really nice book in here. So you're not just getting the music, you're getting the whole story of Fania Records, which is really, really interesting. Lots of great pictures as well. That is Ralphie Pagan or Pagan. Let's see, who else you got here? You've got Young Mods, Subway Joe Bataan and Pals. So Joe Bataan was one of the label's major stars. You call them stars, I guess. I think they were stars. Ray Barato, that was another big name for the label. Love his stuff on here. Willie Colon, another massive name for the label. Did a lot with Hector Lavoe, Bobby Valentine. So mostly English, a few Spanish, some were mixed. And I think with something like this, like they were putting out albums, but I think they were more of a singles kind of label, really. Although some of the albums are really good, but some of them just have a few tracks on it that are good, right? So to have all the singles, 4 discs, 20 tracks on each disc, a lot of music here, absolutely love it. And that 7-inch at the end, I think that was never released before. It was like a promo. Best purchase. See, I told you I waffle on. We're 4 minutes in already. Next question. Question 2. 50 years later, best album of 1974. Okay, so best is hard to do. So I'm just going to do the best 74 I picked up this year. Yeah, and I found this one this year. And Pebbles. I Can't Stand the Rain. This was released in 1974. This is an OG 1974 release, Canadian release, I think. Soul, just lovely stuff. That title track, I Can't Stand the Rain, is the big one on here. I think it's the opener, actually. Yes, it is. But that same vibe continues all throughout the album. I actually absolutely loved this. Found that at the thrift store. Excellent find this year. Okay. Number 3, an album that defines a genre. I went pretty easy with this one. No one defines reggae music quite like Bob Marley, and no Bob Marley album does like the compilation Legend. This has all his many of his biggest hits. The ones that everyone knows and loves, like No Woman, No Cry, 3 Little Birds, Jammin', Buffalo Soldier, I Shot the Sheriff, One Love. So yeah, one of the best. What is it? It's got a record for like, is it the most consecutive, I don't know, selling album of all times. It's like that and Dark Side of the Moon, I think, are like 1 and 2. Okay. Number 4, best band from your home country. Tough question, right? So in Canada is where I am located. And I'm going to go with, there was an excellent documentary came out this year on this band. I'm going to go with the Tragically Hip. This is their one of the bigger albums, I guess, fully completely. I got the hockey card down here, though. If you know the Hip, you know that some of the lyrics came off the back of that card. So when I moved back home, I went through my hockey card collection, and I said, I'm going to add that in here. So, yeah, just a great band, great rocking band. I was a bit late to the Hip, to be honest, but better late than never. Absolutely love the Hip. And especially that documentary. If you like the Hip at all, or if you've not heard from the Hip, it's on, I think it's on Prime, and it's called This Is Our Story. Check it out. An artist you miss dearly. I would love if this man had lived longer. I'm talking about Tupac Shakur. Died way too young, taken from us in a violent death after the Mike Tyson fight on the Strip in 96. I remember the night, actually. 96, I would have been 16 years old, coming home from shooting the drag with some friends. We still did that here in the 90s. Anyway, I would turn on the TV at my grandmother's house because I stopped at my grandmother's before I came home. And it was scrolling on the news, and I was like, no. Anyway, maybe he would have continued his journey into the movie industry. Maybe he would have become more of an actor like Ice-T or even LL Cool J. Although both of them continued their music as well. And Tupac had such a great, social commentary and poeticness to his music that I would have loved to see where the genre in general would have went if Tupac was still around. So rest in peace, Pac. All right, a best live album in your collection. So I did a video of my turntable time machine video, talking about some of the best, or at least the concerts I would like to go back to. So I'm not going to do best, but I'm going to do a really good one that didn't make that list. And that's this compilation here, Ike and Tina Turner. It's a 2-disc set, but the second disc is a live show. And I was Craig Danger was posting about live soul albums, and he reminded me of this one, so I pulled it out and had another listen, and it's really great. I just really love it. There is an American release of it. I looked it up. I can't remember what it's called now. It's not coming to me. But yeah, just great. I don't know. I won't say any more about it because. But yeah, great show. Love it. Your partner just dumped you. What album do you put on? I was going for some blues, right? I was going into the blues collection, but then I flipped past this one and I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll take this one. Otis Redding, The Desperate Soul of Otis Redding, Lonely and Blue. Yeah, Lonely and Blue, and it's on blue vinyl on the Volt label. Yeah, and this is just a heartbreaker. 12 heartbreaking ballads from the King of Soul. So I'm going to read off the songs. You can see it's this is a heartbreaker, yeah? I love you more than words can say. Gone again. Free me. Open the door. A waste of time. These arms of mine. I've been loving you for too long. That's my favorite one on here. Everyone makes a mistake. Little old me. I've got dreams to remember. Send me some lovin'. My lover's prayer. Lots of heartbreak on there. So if you want to be, what's the sad song? Say so much. Is that Elton John? So yeah, you and Otis can be sad together. Best sounding drums on an album. This one was really hard for me as well because there's so many great drummings. You could go with like a really heavy metal album or really funky drumming or some Nyabinga drumming or something. So I went again with one that I picked up this year. I picked it up fairly recently, so it's on my mind, and it was new to me as well. Idris Muhammad, Turn This Mother Out. It opens up with some excellent drumming. Now it's not like spectacular drumming throughout the entire from start to finish, but there are a couple of tracks. The opener, what's that? Combi Bolongo, the second track as well, fantastic. The whole first side actually is really, really strong. Yeah, and this was new to me. Again, thrift store find. Really, really, really enjoyed it. So that's my drumming album. More like a jazz funk fusion kind of album. Number 9, favorite artist who is a member of 2 or more bands. Okay, so I'm actually going with 2 artists. They worked with a wide variety of people. Like they're on albums with Bob Dylan and Herbie Hancock, Joe Cocker, Mick Jagger, and on and on and on and on. But particularly within the reggae genre, they are everywhere. And I'm talking about the bass and drum combo that is Sly and Robbie. Word, Sound, and Power or their name was the name of the band with Peter Tosh. But at the same time, they were Peter Tosh's band. They were also Blackie Ruhu's band. Not the entire band, but Sly and Robbie. In fact, Sly and Robbie produced this album. Did they produce this one too? Just a mammoth behemoth of a combo, right? Robbie Shakespeare died in 2021, I think. Yeah, gone, but certainly not forgotten. I have so many albums here with their sort of their rocker style version of the one drop, I guess you'd call it, variation. Salute. Okay, what else we got here? Beatles or Stones? Beatles or Stones? Well, I like both. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna have to slightly waver towards these guys here. I haven't showed this yet. This was a gift from my wife. I think it was Father's Day. It might have been my birthday. That's a little piece. Oh, you can see my Christmas tree. There you go. That's a little piece of brick from the manor that is Strawberry Field. That's kind of cool, right? I think they call it a mini museum or something. So I'll put that there. Yeah, Beatles. I actually picked this up this year as well. My first time owning this on vinyl. I have it on CD. But yeah, no, just the songwriting. Can you get a better songwriting duo than McCartney and Lennon? The Beatles the Stones got some real rockers that I really, really enjoy. But I think if I had to pick just one, I think I'd go with the Beatles. You found a bag of weed. What are you going to listen to? All right. So, here in Canada, it's now legal. It's quite been for a while now. It's been decriminalized for most of my life. So if I was going back to like when I found a bag of weed behind my brother's dresser, back to the late 90s, I'm probably going to go with something like this, right? A Tribe Called Quest. And this is still a good pick for now. Yeah, I'd still enjoy this with a bag of grass. But lately, I've been getting into more dub kind of reggae. So I might reach for like a dub album, something like this. This is another one I picked up this year. The UB40's first and best by a long shot, I would say. Album. What's it called? Signing Off. Yeah. So I might go for some dub reggae. All right. An album from the 80s you still listen to. So something I would have listened to in the 80s that I'm still listening to now. So I was only a kid in the 80s. But I did have an older brother, right? And so I was getting a lot of music from my older brother. And one of the groups that he would have been listening to, this album came out in 87. So 7-year-old Curtis would have heard his brother listening to this, and I would have been rocking it alongside him to Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. And I still listen to this today. In fact, this was a gift from my buddy Christian for my birthday. There's a ticket to go see Slash back in 2013. Yeah, absolute banger of an album. Still listen to that today. An artist whose political stance has soured you. Well, music and politics go together for me, right? Like I think they should, and I think music is a political expression, right? So I don't mind that, and I can appreciate the music if I don't like the politics too, and I can separate the artist from the music as well. So one of the artists that has been a bit of a wanker lately, or maybe most of his life, is this guy, of course, Eric Clapton. Yeah, what is it about his politics? I think he's got kind of a what did I write here? Anti-vax and racist rhetoric. Yeah, so I don't know. Not going to stop me from pulling out an album and enjoying it, though, right? So Eric Clapton, when he sued the woman for selling the bootleg or whatever, that really annoyed me. Okay, number 14. We're making good time here. All right. Show a favorite record label. All right. So again, I wasn't sure if they're talking like the music label or the physical label on the vinyl. But in this case, this is one of my favorite music labels anyway. So I thought I'd just show a few of the label variants on Island Records. So we've got the early Coconut Tree label. it's kind of a fun label, right? I always get a chuckle out of the coconut tree. That's the harder they come. Here's the Pink Rim. I have no pink labels. So the pink labels, I think, were pre-1970. So there's the Pink Rim, though, and that's on my OG Catch a Fire. I love showing this because, well, I just love that I own a copy of it. Now you're not going to be back in on me, are you? Okay, I'll put you over here. What else? We've got the Blue Rim label. Okay, and that's Bunny Whalers sings the Whalers. And then we have they call it I always call it Sunset Sunrise. I don't know if that's what it is because it's the front and back is different. Yeah, you got that side and then you got that side. So I always like the Island label, and there's some of my favorite artists, reggae artists on that label. So that worked quite well. Number 15, a run of 3 great singles. Well, I don't really collect singles, except I was trying to find LPs from this artist, and all I could find was singles. And so I made a bit of an exception. I picked up a bunch of 12-inch singles from this group. And so I'll show the first 3 singles they released, I believe. And that is Jurassic 5. Can you see that? Yeah. This is their single, Rebulation. That was their very first single. So from 1995 or 6? I didn't know it was that long ago. So they were like, what would you call them? Like an alternative hip-hop group? Kind of social conscious, kind of taking it back to the old school. Their second single was Jayu. Uh, this is the remix of that single that was released much later. This was for Japanese fans only, not for resale. Yeah, so this is a remix of that single. Sorry. Cut Chemist on the turntables, Charlie Tuna on vocals. Oh, so good. And then the third, and my favorite of the three, Concrete Schoolyard. That's a great sleeve, isn't it? Yeah, just some like real old cutting and scratching and yes, yawing. Great stuff. Great stuff. If you're a fan of the genre and you're not familiar with Jurassic 5, do yourself a favor and check them out. They are excellent. A record store day purchase that you actually consistently listen to. Well, I only have one record store day purchase, and I do listen to it. And that is this one, Jimmy Cliff. See the record store day there. In fact, it was in the remainder bin, so I got it for about half price. So this is one of his 70s albums, 75, kind of mid-70s. He does No Woman, No Cry on here, which is pretty good. But just a solid album all the way through. I enjoy it. Number 17. You can be reincarnated as an artist, dead or alive. Who's it going to be? This was a tough one as well. I had to think about this for a while, and I've always fancied the bass, right? So I thought maybe I'll pick a bass player, and if I'm gonna pick a bass player, might as well be part of the one half of the greatest writing duo in music history, and go with Paul McCartney. Yeah, there's Paul there. I'm not a huge fan of Paul's solo stuff. Like I don't have any Wings, or I don't have any of his solo stuff. But yes, if I'm going to be reincarnated, I'm assuming that means like I'm going to experience their life. What a life to experience, right? I don't know if I want to, tip off early like John and George. So Paul's lived a nice full life. So this copy here, this is a compilation. I've got a couple of these Taiwanese pressings of classic albums. And so there you are. There's the Taiwanese label. So it's compilation. It's got Let It Be, The Long and Winding Road, Come Together, Something, Get Back, Don't Let Me Down on the A side, B side, Oobla Dee Oobla Da, Hey Jude, The Ballad of John and Yoko, Baby It's You, and Oh Darling. So kind of a unique kind of pressing. I've never showed this one before, so good excuse to show it in the vinyl tag. Best 3 lines in a song. Again, this is really hard as well because there's a lot of great lyrics. So I kind of just went with who's a really great lyricist. So I had to go CD on this one. Leonard Cohen. What is the line from Anthem? Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Now, what can you say? It's just gorgeous. Lastly, an album you never tire of. I was looking for my Norah Jones album. I can't find it. It's like my Desert Island album. Anyway, so my next best album that I never tire of, Lauryn Hill. Never tired of Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation. She's supposed to be touring this. She keeps canceling her North American tour. I think Wyclef was supposed to be with her. Maybe all the Fugees were. I think maybe all they were. Anyway, just some great songs on here. Last one, To Zion, is probably my favorite. Beautiful song. Doo-wop. That thing. Forgive them, Father. Sorry, that's great. Every ghetto, every city. Just a great album. Never tires. Never gets old. Okay. Is that the last one? Okay, share your favorite VC channel. We're at the end. There's so many. I can't commit. Yeah, there are just so many. So I'm gonna pick a newer channel that I've been following for just a little while to shout out, and that is Northern Vinyl Guy, Darryl. He's way up in Northern Canada. His channel is called Northern Vinyl Guy. So yeah, I've had the pleasure of doing some live streams on Rob's channel, Northern Revolutions, another great channel, by the way. Yeah, go on over there and support Darryl at Northern Vinyl Guy. I'll link to both of those channels down below. All right. That's it. We get in under the half hour. Big thanks to Pretty Green Vinyl Guy. Appreciate the questions, man. Always fun to do these, although a little early. Came at a busy time of year this year, but anyway, I'm honest. Finally getting around to finishing. I appreciate you making up these questions and putting them out, my friend. And if it is your first time thinking about doing a video, great time to do one. All right, peace, one love.